Good morning. Welcome, 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 everyone. If you're new with us today, we invite you to pick up a welcome packet in the back after the service. Whoops, something happened to the mic here. And come to any one of us, and we will be more than glad to take you on a tour of our beautiful grounds. So, welcome. We have an opening music by our Heart Sangha Choir, and so I'm so happy to be back here. Welcome. So beautiful. Thank you. That was complicated, too. Okay. Let's see. I'm Judy Carmi, and I would like to welcome you to the center where we inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. The practitioners in service today will be available at the bell here for prayer with you after the service. So Right now, I'm going to ask you to multitask. If you could turn and wave to the camera and at the same time greet your neighbor and at the same time send the children up. Come on, children. Come on. You can do it. As we sing to the children on stage or in their seats, let's also sing to the child within us. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes. So now I would like to thank everyone in service here today and every day, really. There's so many things that are happening during the week and during the month, not just on Sundays here at the center. And so we would like to take a moment to thank all our Seva people, volunteers in different capacities. If you can please silence your phones right now. And I will go over our focused announcements. Now, the entire announcements for the week and the month are in our little programs and also in our newsletter. So I will just go over a few main ones here, but you can always refer back to that. The Love Treasures that are out in the foyer, jewelry, sale and center ends today. And so it's the Ronnie Herber collection, and it's on display. It is on sale today, 50% off for everything except the jewelry. So please take time to browse and get a piece to remember Ronnie by. Grace of Aging Sage Workshop, Aging and Changing with Reverend Sue MillerBorn is on Friday, February 21st from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. Join Reverend Sue to gather in conversation about being who we are. Collectively, we discover what a rich and important time of life we're in. And I am there, and it is fascinating. And I love it. It's very fun. Crystal Bowl Sound Healing Bath with Irene Bomer, Friday, February 21st, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Immerse yourself in a journey of sound and vibration. The healing frequencies will lead the meditation as we move through the chakras. Moon Circle with Lori Buckman, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. There's a maximum of 15 female attendees. We meet as women have for centuries to grow our awareness of moon cycles and to set conscious intention. We will look at to herbs, natural time, and pure elements, and also bring in tools to engage our power to be the change we want to see in the world. And so these are our announcements. right now, I think we will have a reading by Lori. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you all for that beautiful performance this morning. That was spectacular. These are a few passages from other faith traditions chosen by Reverend Sue. Hinduism, the one who is beyond time, beyond space, beyond cause, and beyond that which follows the cause, knows how to enwrap oneself in a mantle of divine happiness, from the Upanishads. Confucianism, remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Confucius. Taoism, stop thinking and end your problems. Lao Tzu. Native American, listen to the wind, it talks. Listen to the silence, it speaks. Listen to your heart, it knows. Native American proverb.
And so just now, I'd like to invite you to turn inward, to bring your attention to your breath as you relax your shoulders, relax your face, muscles, relax your arms, and relax anything else in your body, your toes, your feet that needs to be relaxed. As we together travel into that space that we share together at all times, that space where energy flows in its perfection, where we know that there is only one light, one life force, one energy in, through, and around everything and everyone equally. Knowing that energy as perfect intelligence, as perfect balance and harmony, as it is constantly renewing, energizing and revitalizing every cell, every atom, every molecule in our physical body and around. We know that that energy is here to guide us, to show us that love is the answer. Love is the answer to all our questions, to all the world's problems, to all that troubles us. And when we remember this, when we go turn inward in this state of relaxation, we're able to say yes. Yes to love. Yes to peace. Yes to seeing that divine light in each person that we meet. It is in ourselves, it is in me, it is in you, it is in everyone. Only God. And so for this knowing, I am so deeply grateful. I'm grateful for the joy, for the love, for the perfection that this energy brings with it, and the knowing that all I have to do is be aware of it and align with it, and it is here. It is here for everyone to use. It is here to support everyone. And so again, with gratitude, I release this prayer, these words, into the law of mind, where it is already so. And together we say, and so it is. Reverend Sue?
I concur that that was a beautiful song. That should be all pumped up. Good morning, everyone. I was having my moment with the choir. That was just such a perfect song for our hearts today. So we're going to dive into our topic, the art of mindful living, and it's prefaced with the idea of ripples and the art of mindful living. Probably should have been preparing the talk last week because I had a weekend away while Charlie was in a study course for Healing Touch. I went just to stay by myself in the hotel room. What a treat. You know, have you ever thought about that when you go on a trip and the hotel's just so much fun? I wish I could stay here. I don't want to go sightsee. I just want to stay, look out the window. So I did, and I brought all kinds of books to read and play and focus on my phone with different meditations. I was having the time of my life. And to get comfortable, I pulled a chair out in the center of the room and put my feet up. I was just living the queen. And then when we went to bed that night, I just went to bed without reorganizing the room. Guess what? I went flying. In the night. So mindful living. When I flew over that chair I left in the center of the room, I said, well, there you have it. That's not exactly what I said. It's not exactly. But I'm not talking about this to get attention. Well, sort of. But I want to explain if you're thinking, you know, it's too bad she's not retiring a little sooner than she thought because she's moving a little slow. Well, it's because I sprained both toes, all the toes across. So I'm so excited. I got my shoes on. I was going to wear slippers. But it's things like when that happens, those steps just seem like they're mountains to climb. But I did it. I'm here. And you're there. And we're mindful living together. So the message here, blah, 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 blah. When you go away for the weekends, check your environment before you get up at night to go to the bathroom. So, but I want to pull this back into ripples, the art of mindful living. So many directions that ripples go, that we can take this message. And I want to share this opening quote, and I'm curious if you think you know who says this. There is only consciousness in all directions, absolute, all-pervading, radiating through and as all conditions, the source and the suchness of everything that arises moment to moment, utterly prior to this world, but not other than this world. All things are just a ripple in this pond. All arising is a gesture of this one. Now, who does that sound like? Troward. Who else? I thought it was Earnest Holmes at first. Yeah. Ken Wilber. Do say. Don't you think? He's pilfering a little bit. Anyway, Ken Wilber from No Boundary. And it just really captured me in realizing what a universal knowing this is, right? Mary mentions Troward was one of Earnest Holmes' teachers. And so we bring it here again today. And so there's a metaphor that goes along with this. A troubled monk goes to his abbot for guidance. After listening intently, the abbot finally asks the monk to join him on a walk. They arrive at a pond near the back of the monastery, and the abbot asks the monk, pick up that stone, and toss it into the center of the pond. The monk complies. Now, said the abbot, as the ripples come closer to the shore, stick your finger in the water to try to stop them. So the monk tries this, but as he sticks his finger in the water, the action just creates more ripples. The confused monk, just as I'm seeing the confused audience here, the confused monk looks at his mentor and says, Abbot, I can't. My actions just cause more ripples. The abbot smiles and says, so you cannot stop the ripples. Correct. But you realize as he smiles, you could have stopped yourself from tossing the stone into the pond in the first place. We have a choice. You see, our thoughts are like the stones, the pebbles, maybe even a grain of sand that we're always broadcasting into the thought of consciousness. And so when we've been focusing so intently this year so far on the interbeingness of all that is, and reminding ourselves it is important because what we do, what we say, what we think, and even what we touch is going to leave an imprint. It's going to cause these ripples to affect our lives, but also everyone else's lives. The big responsibility. And we grasp this quickly. We understand this very much. If we get caught up in gossip, oh, it's so juicy. I'm just going to kind of whisper it out of the side of my mouth to one person. But whew, spreads like wildfire. And you realize it circles back, after those ripples circle back to you, and you try to stick your finger in to stop it, it's already out there. Damage is done. And we, maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally, we caused suffering. And we take a step back further. We just look back, seeing our responsibility right now in our society. What ripples are we causing? Because there's one stone that keeps being tossed moment by moment through social media, right? It's when we, that bothers me what somebody said. I'm going to poke the respond reply button and let them have it. But only what happens is somebody gets you back. Then you've got this thing going. Happens just like that. And then you're thinking in a huff, well, I never. Yes, you did. You started it. So it's this idea to look at where are the platforms, where are we in that suffering, adding to the effects of consciousness. When we are here, I know each one of you came through those doors. Even if you're new with us today, there is something driving in you, seeking this inner peace, this inner calm, this inner knowing that a good is unfolding and that we are champions of love, and we're allowing ourselves to hold that deep intention so we come week after week after week to hone in on our responsibility in the world today. Because what we say maybe isn't it affecting the immediate person around you, but the stranger might pick up on it, and then it goes on and on out into everybody else. So the story of the ripple being tossed by one stone. Again, think of that one stone as your one thought cast into consciousness and allowing that effect to begin. That first ripple began as the stone began to sink to the depth of the water. Now that's a good thing. That's a good thing if you're casting pearls of wisdom. So I'm not like scolding any of us, because we have a lot of wisdom to share. But often it's not. An unskillful, an unkind, and unpolished thought can become that loose cannon that is spreading shame and more anger out into our world. So we keep coming back to the spiritual practice of mindfulness, asking ourselves, be present in the moment. Linger just a little bit longer in stillness. Check in, slow that heart rate down. Slow that reactiveness down. Just get still. Take a moment to watch the pond become still again before you react. Allow silence and that turning within to glean the insight that you need to see a bigger picture here. We don't want to act irrationally in this world. We can't afford to. There's too many people. And so we want to not add one bit of our energy into the chaos. So this wisdom that we speak of, this mindful wisdom, pausing in the stillness, asking, soul searching, is what I'm about to say an improvement? Is it going to be helpful? Is it skillful? Is it filled with loving kindness? Is it? Or am I too raging in the wind? Are we about to start with our one action, another tornado? You see, we're involved with the elements. We've spoken about all these things. We start to pull it all together, put all the threads of the tapestry together, and come back to knowing that wisdom is mindfulness. Allowing our influence then, knowing that personal power, we want to choose now to radiate wisdom. Why not radiate kindness, radiate love? Now, Charlie knows how long I will sit with emails that come my way that are laced with conflict and judgment. I know you're in there saying, oh, poor Sue. They do that to her. It's not done unto me. It comes towards me. And what I do with that, yes, sometimes it stings, some of these things, but I wait for my response. I wait, and I take it to my meditation. I take it to the mat, and I allow myself to just move myself through. I don't want to respond right away. I need to pause, and I need to check in with myself. I need to check in then with my deeper divine self. What's mine to know here? What's mine? And this is my way of seeking that ultimate truth, seeking that divine understanding that I know my heart speaks when I take the time to respond and avoid reacting. And then I can end up writing my response very, very carefully before I hit the send button. And I know in my own heart, I take on the fourth agreement, or one of the agreements, I don't know which number it is, but I did my best, right? That's all we can ask ourselves. Did we do the best? Because it's not always received. I'm thinking That was really nice of me. That's probably going to heal this situation. No. No, comes back in a different perspective. And I sit with that too. I sit with that too. The world is filled with all of these different perceptions. So this idea from the Awakening Meditation Course, mindfulness is simply being aware of what is happening right now without wishing it were different, enjoying the pleasant without holding on when it changes, which it will, and being with the unpleasant without fearing it, without fearing that it will always be this way, which it won't. You know, that's just like a breath in itself, isn't it? I'm breathing this in, I'm breathing it out, and it already's changed. That was James Perez from the Awakening Joy meditation. And some of the students in here that are in the Advanced Consciousness course will recognize some of what I'm going to share right now because it's always timely. These Earnest Holmes writings were long ago, but they're so timely. And it's timely for this message. We were absorbing one of his chapters and living the Science of Mind. It's a lot easier to read than the Science of Mind textbook because you can flip it open, you can go through the pages of the contents, find what will shape a response to you that you're suffering with. So it's a great contemplation book to have at your bedside. And the one chapter that they were instructed to look closely at was, you are a spiritual broadcasting station. And there was this insightful message, and I want to quote what he says, because he reminds us that we are spiritual and mental broadcasting stations, and messages are going out from us in all directions, even when we're asleep. That's daunting. Influencing the environment around us. Okay. But reminding us that everything moves in circles and the messages we broadcast simply come back to us. I don't know if that's good news or bad news for you, but it's something to really hone in on as we look at mental atmosphere. If we look at it a little more closely, because we can feel it in this room, can't you? Can you feel it around you? After that song, there was a quietness, a heart opening, and we tuned into that, and we said, yes, that's the notes I needed to hear. The high ones, the low ones, the blending of voices into consciousness. So the choir is setting the atmosphere here, this mental atmosphere, the prayer of Judy, the sound of the bell, every person in service, those in the social hall preparing your food, all for the oneness, a collective consciousness that you arrive here. Peace be with you. Peace stay with you. It's lifting this vibration. It is allowing our beautiful minds, all of ours, to be a part of influencing the space around us. And so we toss our pebbles into that spiritual pond, and we let it ripple out into Shasta County. And we walk on, and we walk with our heads held high, knowing that the pure intentions of our heart are always centered on a greater good for all. So, Earnest Holmes, again, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our faiths, our fears, they tend to make an imprint on our environment. And also at the same time, we are the receiving sets. And the wisdom here reminds us, pay attention to what we're tuning into. And in his words, this program is already within the ethers in this room, but it does not affect our instrument until we tune into it. So then we have to pause and say, well, what is the wavelength in my thought process? And then I felt a little bit of yipes as I read on Earnest Holmes. If a person's mind is filled with animosity and resentment, people will feel it, whether they say a word or not. This animosity arouses within others who have resentment, and they have animosity, and so it's like meets like. And his thoughts tune into theirs, and this immediately we're responding back and forth into this different kind of flow than you really want to be in, because one will accentuate the other. It breaks it down. It breaks it down into how important this is. And as I was looking at that quote, I thought, maybe if we're having an off day, we should all be wearing the headphones to try to tune our frequency into what do we really want to hear. I don't want to hear any more of the discontent, of the anger. I want to rise above, and I want to help be the one manifesting this greater good unfolding. So if you take the time, just the key to looking at this is not having resentments. Try to release your resentments as a daily practice so that things don't stick to you. You know, I remember that so clearly when I would do nursing rounds, and I was the charge nurse, so I had to listen to the anger of the doctor when something wasn't done right. And the other nurse would just sit there oblivious. And I thought, why don't you take on some of this? But she said, it's not mine. It's him. His anger, not mine. And I thought, well, I don't want it. See, it's a lesson there, always. I don't have to tune into it. I'm not bad-mouthing doctors that much. But I also thought, this is how subtle it is. Now, many of you who have a pet you know this. You wake up in the morning, and you've already made that vet appointment. And you try to get the dog in the car, and he's hiding. He can't read. He can't see your appointment book. He doesn't know. But there's a vibe. There's a vibe, right? He knows. Cowering, shaking. I'm not going to the dog park, am I? No. And then at the vet, trying to get him out of the car, especially a big dog, it's almost impossible. Right? How did they pick that up? From the ethers. From you just knowing, I got to take the dog in for a rabies shot. He knows. And he's scared. So we realize what might seem oblivious to others, everything is causing that ripple. But I return the message back to all of us here because you want to know, well, then what are my options? I can't stop my brain. What is the message? What can I take home with me today? Because it boils down to not being a Pollyanna, but to try to your best to turn your thoughts to a more positive sense of thinking and responding, and try to avoid the negative biases that simply show up, because affirmative thinking will win all the time. So every morning we have to make up our minds. We have to do due diligence to sit there in stillness, in silence, and be spoken to. My dear one, your charge today is be quiet. Be quiet. We want to keep our minds flexible, as Earnest Holmes would say. So this is all rooting our nature into that mind of God that we so cherish. It's going to be our salvation from personal suffering, because we don't want to add one more thought to the suffering in the world. Now, in this reading also was this corny little chant, which Susan got a kick out of, Susan Jans. And they're silly words of Samuel Walter Foss. Let the howlers growl. Let the growlers growl, let the scowlers scowl, and let the rough gang go it. For behind the night there is plenty of light, and the world's all right, and I know it. But there's something very amusing. There's something very, very amusing in that silly little chant. Because we can't do anything about the howlers, the growlers, the scowlers. But we know what to do with the light, and we can be carriers of the light, because right along with this comes the song, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." You all can do that. When you hear howling, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine," and keep on walking. So you're tuning your vibration to something greater, to something that's real to you. And you're offering grace at the same time to others. Because we recognize we're all a product of what has influenced us through a lifetime. But we know here that we can change, that we have the tools to grow and to change and to understand. And we know that Science of Mind, the very basic teaching, and it goes right along, dovetails with the Buddha, that thoughts create things. Thoughts create our reality. So I ask you, moment by moment, what are you paying attention to? Allow your perceptions to shift now more than ever to a greater understanding. We don't have to sell our soul. We don't have to sell our soul to get along in the world. Still stand for what you believe in, but revisit some of those storylines that have held you back, that have held you in suffering. Because we exist with these limitless opportunities. This is Earnest Holmes again, his influence on us. These opportunities are forever knocking at the doorway of our heart, longing to be expressed, and we have the power to stand in that truth. Because our mind is connected to the one mind, to the divine mind, to the mind of love, and we allow that to cultivate our sense of being, to accomplish a greater good for all. So, knowing that this world, this room, this choir, me, individually, are full of stories. We're all full of it. And there's moments that we react because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So we pigeonhole it back to something we do know, and it might not be right. But it's how we're used to respond. We also can't see what we can't see. And so our prayers reveal the truth to me. In the morning as you awaken, may my light be filled with a sense of humility so that I may see, that I may be touched, that I may surrender to know a greater way. And this is what transformation is. And Pema Chodron in The Places That Scare You, it's a wonderful book. Transformation occurs only when we remember, breath by breath, year after year, to move toward our emotional distress without condemning or justifying our experience. You see how we tie everything to our experiences when it's really our emotional field that we need to cradle? So, in a moment here, we're going to close our message, the talking head here, to personalize it, to take it in a way that your heart's been longing for, to just get some rest, to just know there's got to be a better way. And so I'm inviting Judy up to start the process, but I invite you to shift now. Shift from listening outwardly to listening inwardly. Thich Nhat Hanh will lead us. Many of us get swept away by events, situations around us, by whatever we're seeing and hearing, and we lose ourselves. We take a breath. This is why we must cultivate freedom from the crowds. And when you have real freedom, even in the crowds, all the shouting, everything going on, you can still be yourself. You're not swept away by the emotions of the majority. Oh, we're led in then as we close our eyes, drop our shoulders, and begin to sit with what arises without judging it. We're going deeper than that. We're taking the crowded room of all the other voices, and we're entering the chamber of holy ground in your own heart. The heart within you of understanding. And there's a breath that takes you there. Melissa Harris was leading us yesterday, the author of the book we just finished. And she was leading this call. And the breath work was so tender because she chose the Aramaic words of Jesus. The sounds of the breath, the holiness of the breath. Taking that breath, now you feel yourself, yes, you've been breathing this whole time. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. She describes that breath as Nasha. Nasha. That's your personal breath, Nasha, and you know it. And you know what that is, and you know where it leads you. It's the breath that sustains our life. But now I invite you to shift to a deeper breath. Take it deeper. Take that full breath in from far in the room. Breathe it right into your heart. That is Ruha, the holy breath. We take that breath in from far away, and we let it swim through the heart space. We pause with that fullness, and we let it out so slowly, so sweetly out of the mouth, just like blowing a candle, so slowly. We let it go. We hear the sound. We hear the sound, Ruha, the holy breath, the holy breath, the breath of divinity. A moment we were in the breath of humanity, and now we breathe divinity. Ruha. Ruha. Go deeper. As I share just very briefly the wisdom of Ram Dass to just take you on the sweet journey of loving awareness. Let it be so. Ruha, Ruha, Ruha. You are the one breathing. You are the one that chose to be here this day. You are the Blessed One. And you are saturating this moment, the ethers in this room, the consciousness of all time, with loving awareness. You see, it's breathing you. Those around you are breathing it. Now you're multiplying it. Loving awareness is breathing you. You are breathing loving awareness. Ruha. Going deeper. Going deeper. Know thyself. There in the center of your heart is the oneness, is the love, are all the answers right there, laid upon your heart, in the stillness, in the silence, in the breath. You find your way. It is done unto us as we believe. May we take this moment, this precious, precious moment, and pick up the pebble of truth and toss it into the sea of understanding. And may it ripple upon every shore. May there be somewhere, someone tuned into our wavelength now, pausing on the shorelines, gazing at the sea, breathing the oneness of breath and knowing peace is, love is. I am going to be all right. All is well. All is good. And we are so grateful that we can breathe as a body of enlightened hearts and make a difference in the vibration of our world. I release these words knowing that you're all taking what you need and holding it sacred. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Beautiful. Beautiful, thank you. I would like to invite the ushers forward now, please. As I prepare to give my offering, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I'm filled with gratitude knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive. Just now I give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. I know that each dollar supports the spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that the center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is. One more song.
So this last piece is the traditional Amazing Grace, but it was arranged by Tien, and it's a beautiful piece I wanted to share because it is a chant that supports the traditional Amazing Grace. And the chant begins with Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, which is from the Nichiren Buddhist phrase, devotion to the mystic law of the Lotus Sutra. The next part of the chant begins Om Namo Narayanaya. It comes from the Sanskrit, I bow to the ultimate reality, Narayana. He's the god of preservation. And the chant continues, Yesu Jehovah Allah, chanting and invoking the names of Jesus the Christ, God made man, Jehovah, which is the Latinization of Yahweh, which is God of Israel, and Allah, the God of the God, the Abrahamic God. So if you feel moved, join us in singing Amazing Grace, if you know the words. Let's enjoy this last song. Thank you.
That was awesome, right? No other way to put it. So I want to remind you the practitioners are here. If there's anything heavy on your heart or light on your heart that you want to share and have prayer support, and please browse and enjoy the ending of Doug's offering of Ronnie's treasures. Doug, we thank you. I don't know where you are sitting, but wherever he is. Wherever he is. He's oh, he's busy. He's busy. So there's this beautiful, this is the last thing I want to have you take with you from Thich Nhat Hanh. Is this like a pebble in the river? Another way to look at this, pivoting here. Please, when you practice meditation, don't make any effort. Allow yourself to be like a pebble at rest. The pebble is resting at the bottom of the river, and the pebble does not have to do anything. While you are walking, you are resting. While you are sitting, you are resting. So we rest in that oneness. And this last song just really ties it all together so beautifully. So I want you to stand for a moment. Just stand up if you can. Stretch, roll those shoulders. You got a whole nother week to live here. And I want you to say this little chant with me. And we're speaking to God. And I want you to just say it with your whole heart. I got this. You ready? I got this. I got this. Okay, ready? I got this. No, a little louder. I got this. Okay, God. I got this. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.